Hey guys, Koi Fish Farmer here. Today I'm going to teach you guys about my third favorite Japanese rice poisoning story from the 1900s, the cadmium rice tragedy. Cadmium traces its poisonous notoriety to the ancient Kamioka mines of central Japan. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, the Japanese dynasty began processing elements generally found near cadmium, such as zinc. Zinc is used for armor, airplanes, and ammunition, and boy did the Japanese army need lots of that. The problem is cadmium exists right below zinc on the periodic table, and the two metals mix indistinguishably in the Earth's crust. So the Kamioka miners would roast it like coffee and percolate it with acid to separate the cadmium from the vital zinc they needed for their military. Following the environmental regulations of the day, the Japanese imperial government dumped thousands of tons of cadmium into the water supply where the cadmium would leach into the soil. The problem with cadmium is that it causes obstructive lung disease, acute tubular necrosis in the kidneys which leads to renal failure, calcium loss in bones, and it leads to cancer, especially lung cancer. On September 11th, many workers developed respiratory disease, and many doctors thought it was from cadmium entering their lungs due to all the cadmium computer parts that were vaporized. It turned out these assumptions were wrong, but it's telling just how quickly healthcare professionals reflexively considered cadmium as one of the culprits. Sadly, this is because of the poisonings that were happening a century earlier. In the 1900s, Japanese doctors realized many farmers in areas near the Kamioka mines were experiencing a new disease that they named itai disease, or ouch disease. The farmers often had joint pain, renal failure, and softening of the bones that caused them to snap. Itai disease almost entirely affected women because women have lower iron stores in their body, which means their body was trying to replenish their low iron levels. The problem is iron and cadmium are both transition metals, and although they are far away from each other on the periodic table, transition metals often act similar to each other because they push their extra electrons down into deeper orbits. For this reason, both cadmium and iron have two valence electrons each, which means they both look the same and bond with the same things. For this reason, the human body often mistakes cadmium for iron, and when your body has less iron reserves due to malnutrition, the human body is always looking to replenish those reserves. As mining rose for the war efforts of Japan in the 30s and 40s, so did the cases of itai disease. However, it wasn't until 1946 when a local doctor named Noboru Hagino discovered that rice was a cadmium sponge and was soaking up the cadmium-diluted waters from the rivers that ran from the Kamioka mines. When people ate this rice, the cadmium would replace zinc, calcium, and iron in the body, which caused the joint pain, renal failure, and weakening of the bones. Court proceedings took a long time, and it was only by 1972 that the mining corporations were paying 2.3 billion yen annually to 178 survivors. Thanks for watching, and don't mess with heavy metals. Bye everyone!